flashed on this map. It was a mirror. It was a 13-7 win for SEN. And oh man, this is going to be an unbelievable start.
I mean, this is the tournament that's on everyone's minds at the beginning of the year. This is what players play for. This is what the entire year is about. And for one of these two teams, it ends today. Sentinels on the attacking side of Lotus. You've got Lakia, who's already taken a lot of space towards A. Now taking a step back, but otherwise, Dre, the map very quiet.
Yeah, it's so timid from both sides right now. No one wanting to make an early mistake. Very default play across the board. It's going to be a lurk smoke on C, putting doubt in the minds of Gen G, but Munchkin, he's getting ahead of that.
Yeah, a smoke out from Karon as well. The Prowler through, but you're right, Munchkin ahead of the line just a little bit. Getting enough info as to what's really going on. And you see, as we see the map kind of lean back towards A, a couple of members across the middle of the map. Lockie is the first one to fall.
Yeah, he was the solo man there as well. It's all up to Karon here.
With a classic light armor, the wall will conceal their movements. As Texture tries to get a little active. Texture was an absolute demon the last two times these teams faced off.
Yeah, he absolutely shut Zekken out of the series. And he just shut down Celsius.
At least out of this round, Meteor with a nade and a flash at his feet will fall at the hands of Zekken. His TenZ looks to get a little bit more active, will connect onto Munchkin. Numbers the way of the attack in a massive amount too. And it's not getting any better for the #1 seed from the APAC region. Sentinels win the pistol, and very quickly, the last time they played, they won 1 out of the 4 pistols the entire series. They struggled.
And not only that, but it's Zekken getting a 3K into that round, getting momentum. It's something that he couldn't do the last time around against Gen G. And it's something that was able to get them over the hurdle in that grand final in Madrid for Sentinels to take that one home. So this is very important for the side of Sentinels. They need momentum. They're such a momentum-based team.
Absolutely. You know, we talked about it 2 days ago when we watched Sentinels dance with FPX. Zekken, unfortunately, he went -17 in the series against Gen G. Those demons are not that far behind him.
Will just be a C hit right off the rip, understanding that they have all gun advantage, all utility advantage, and it's going to be a clear retake from the side of Gen G. What can they really do? They only have a couple sheriffs on Meteor and Texture. And we've seen this post plant happen a lot from the side of Sentinels. They'll put this deep alarm bot in water with a molly. It's all to delay. And then they'll cycle smokes on default. This is so hard to break through. Zekken's having such a map already.
Dude, it's the second round, and he's already 1 point away from having his ult online.
And he's hungry. He wants more. Here it is. He gets that ultimate.
I mean, when you have that far of an advantage, you really want to push, and that's exactly what he does. So massive for 2 reasons. You mentioned Sentinels, you mentioned Zekken struggling and how it's important for him to get back online, get the ball rolling as quickly as possible. And I think he's already doing that, 7-1. But also, the showstopper round 3, huge.
Yeah, and they didn't lose a single rifle in the process. John QT, he was sitting on a sheriff the entire time. Yeah, Zekken falls down there, but he got the showstopper like you said, and John was able to pick that Spectre up and now upgrade to a Vandal. And on the other side, it's all light armor across the board. If that showstopper even tags somebody, it's going to do mad damage and probably take out a couple players. But I will say, in the last series, we saw Zekken whiff a couple of those ultimates. So
yeah, think about that bind one, that sword. Right past the autumn, if I'm not mistaken. Seems like a lot of pings on the minimap towards B at the beginning of the round. Gen G seemingly wise to it. 3/5 of their team is posted up around here for now.
But the mid-rounding, Celsius, while all that front B pressure was happening, took all of C control. And he's farming up his own little orbs right here. Munchkin needs to be careful right here. If he gets carried out, yeah, that showstopper's going to do the damage.
And the thing is here, if you're Sentinels, you don't have to fully commit to this. It seems like they might, though. TenZ is already TP'd all the way across. You've got everything back sight, mowing over Gen G.
An absolute firing squad that Texture just ran into.
I mean, he swings, and it's the most terrifying thing you could imagine.
It was diabolical.
And so now, as the dust settles and as the rest of the round kind of comes to a close, you see Sentinels with a really big advantage here. They're up on numbers. You've got John, who's going to get a little bit closer to having his ult online. Zels is halfway to his. Money's in a really good spot. This is the Sentinels that was missing a couple of days ago. This was the Sentinels that was missing in the opening match of this tournament.
Yeah, missing in stage 2, honestly. Even in the playoff, they barely squeaked in. Zalsis gets the quick trade, securing the round, getting closer to that ultimate. And yeah, Zekin wasn't the one that got that showstopper kill. But Saucy doing his due diligence with that Fade Prowler, sniffing out Munchkin. And yeah, there's not much you can do in a spot like that against a showstopper and a Spectre.
No, I mean, you mentioned it. He needed to be careful. That was just that's a brutal one and done spot.
Yeah, and losing the bonus round, it could feel so bad. Your economy feels like you can never really get it going. That being said, it's going to be Light Armors again across the board right now, and a showstopper of his own for Texture.
I'll find you. Still waiting.
See if he's able to replicate any of that success. Maybe that's the tipping factor here, because you see the buy. It's not great. 2 Stingers and then Sheriffs.
Bring them down.
For Sentinels, again, a slow start. Pretty metered, pretty tempered, if you will. Just kind of waiting to see if Gen.G are going to get active, if they're going to try to take some space and throw something aggressive into the fold. And that's exactly right. You got the Paranoia that's out, and they're going to give up some of the same main space, trade the Paranoia of their own, but manage to get away unscathed.
Yeah, and the big thing here is that all that C control was already gathered. So there's 5 members here, and the rotations can't make it in time. Sentinels are aware of this,
Well,
but they're getting delayed.
You got to be careful here, too. There's a brutal crunch. Remember, Texture has his ult. But once again, fully sending out onto C. Saucy will be the first to fall as Munchkin manages to find 2 on the round. There's the ult popped as well. Not connecting onto anything, but Munchkin continues to farm. 3 on the round now. Oh, I thought he had fired it off already. Zalsis falls on it. It's just John left in a 1v4, and they're weak, but not that weak. A thrifty round for Gen.G.
He may have been in the wrong position in the round previously, but this time he took things into his own hands. He gets 4 into the round, 3 with the Stinger, gets the upgrade. That allows Texture to go in with that showstopper and secure the round win. And what a way to stop the bleeding. I mean, winning an eco round, now all of a sudden your economy is going to be back in the game. You're back in the mix of things. Gen.G needed this, and they needed it desperately.
And there was never any doubt that a team like Gen.G would punch back, right?
Yeah.
They're not the team to roll over. They're not the team to kind of fall in the face of big moments. So you knew it was going to happen. You knew it was inevitable. The question was when. And it just so happens that the stars align on the 4th round.
And they're also a team that takes a little bit to get going in series, I noticed. Sometimes, they'll go down, 4 or 5 rounds, and then they'll bring it all the way back and even secure out the map if that. But if not, they can reverse sweep at any moment.
Sure. Zekin already taking a ton of damage. Just off a spam through the smokes, 21 HP, no armor left to him.
These teams play at such a high level, both of them. It feels like we're truly watching like just a chess match right now, just a battle back and forth of the brains. Sentinels will take space here. Gen.G will take space there. This tit for tat, blow for blow. The rotations being in full effect. Look, 3 members facing each other in front B. Both teams have such a good read on how each other play.
The spike is rotating back towards B. Both Paranoias have been traded. As of personnel on both sides.
Yeah, exactly. Both players have been traded too.
All of that KJ utility. Pop towards C. They have a decent idea that that's where the hit is, but with 30 seconds left, there's still a couple of options. And once again, 10's the tip of the spear, TPing forward. A little bit separated. How in the world does Meteor win that? Saucy with the swing on the trade. Nicely done. And now with 3v3.
Planted.
As Texture creeping his way forward. The first to fight, the first to find a kill. Has this been the case? Instantly traded right back 2v2 now. Saucy has his eye. Lakia has no health left. It's Karen alone. He's been good. Head and shoulders above the rest. But can he deliver here? Against John QT, no, he cannot. The leader for Sentinels delivers once more.
I mean, it was trade for trade the entire way through. It came down to a 1v1. It's that chess match I was talking about. This is going to be such a close series if it continues onward like this. But now, it's ultimates available for the side of Sentinels. Here's the replay of the trading on site. It's so evenly matched, it feels like. Pistol round, truly the only difference maker in these rounds in this 1v1.
And again, we talked about this when we saw them play against FPX. The big difference was John QT, it felt like, in my opinion, right? When Sentinels have been good, John has delivered. That's a big moment for him early on.
Getting your IG on the flow state can be a really big thing, especially early on. If he starts getting the kills, You get more confident in the calling, you start getting better reads.
Oh, they've got him figured out. They spotted him.
That was a tough one.
He was there in the previous round, too.
And Sentinels have a good idea of when a player is playing pushed up like that and they're solo to go through the door, the revolving door. No one has met them there yet.
A look back towards A. Texture getting through the ult. He's got a big timing here. A wide swing and 2 kills found. Again, heroics from Texture. But the counterpunch comes through at just the right time. Second down low, spotting one, trying to switch to the weaker weaponry and not finding a kill. Now 2v2, the pit invested 10s on the prowl. It's an alarm bot keeping him just a little bit further back. His meteor waltzes into his death, right into the crosshair of the controller. Munchkin does the same.
10's too fast in these moments. Holding the angles. It's a tough round to win if you're Gen G. Texture. He went huge in that moment, getting 2, swinging out super wide. Look at this. That's such a wide swing.
Dude, and how many times have we watched Gen G and seen Texture do something like that?
Yeah.
Munchkin, Meteor, do something where they're getting 2Ks and 3Ks in most instances where somebody gets traded instantly.
Yep.
But that just seems to be one of their strengths. One guy that we don't really talk about a ton, but he's just as good, just as stalwart in those high-pressure moments. Again, I think the big difference here is that Sentinels have been able to respond and deliver with a couple of their own.
And they're not really getting picked off early either, Doug.
Yeah, I think that's huge. That's part of the 4-round difference here. On the other side of the timeout, what are the adjustments? You've got 3 ults on the side of the defense.
Got 4 now.
Yeah.
Got A-Orb gathered.
Again, creeping a little bit further. Munchkin clearing out the turret. And now the round ripe for reset.
Shadows traveling.
I mean, the approach from Sentinels on this attacking half has been so calculated, so methodical. They clearly do not want to give anything away early on to Gen G.
No. Remember, that's that lurk smoke on C that you mentioned at the beginning of the map, the pistol round one, but this one way just sucks to get through.
It's just going to keep on being cycled over and over and over. And I think this is going to be an A reclear into a B split potentially. That's why you see an alarm bot from Zelsis put all the way in the back of SC. Viper Wall gets baited out from the side of Sentinels, but a Prowler also out of the mix.
Sand in that hourglass continues to tick away. 30 seconds left in the round now as they've invested the lockdown. And now it's going to be traded back for another.
A big investment from Gen G.
With still a lot of time left to play in the round, the Prowler just got a little bit of info towards A. Second satchel forward and right into his death. Are they going to be able to navigate some of this as Lakia is going to fall in exchange?
Look at the time, Doug.
They may have burned the candle down just a bit too low.
10 seconds left.
They're trying to get ahead of this, but the reinforcements are already here. Look at Munchkin's positioning. That's the plan stopped. That's John QT dealt with assassination style. The round will go the way of Gen G.
What a round from Gen G. What poise to not make any mistakes. Not give a single inch to Sentinels. Holding all of that A space. Not taking the bait on that Killjoy ult. And what a counter ult from Meteor. What a call. The gall you have to make a play like that when you are down in the weaponry. That's the second thrifty win already for the side of Gen G. If they can get things going on these gun rounds, they could bring this one back. So this time, that cautious approach from Sentinels, it works against them. Maybe we're going to see a change of pace. Here it is.
Paranoia already out. The one-way goes up, but they're already past it at this point.
Lakia might get caught right here. He needs to be careful. Oh, that Viper Wall gets up right on time. Munchkin, good awareness in that moment. All that's happened. Yeah, Texture took this deep angle.
With the op, we haven't seen that yet. Saucy's aware of it now. Is he going to be able to get away? No, Zelsis chases him down.
Sentinels right now, they have no other choice. They kind of have to just hold W here. There's still 2 mollies they have to deal with. The showstoppers invested from Zekin. He gets chipped down very low.
He didn't have any satchels.
Yeah.
He couldn't go.
Will be a free site gathered. Spike should be planted unless spam.
I mean, it might be a free site, but it feels like they're walking right into Gen G's trap. Lakia has his ult. Smoke's already going through. Zekin getting a little bit aggressive, getting the best of Meteor, but again, still, that Nightfall in play, and there it is, right on cue tapped. You've got John who's playing his tight angle, managing to stay alive with the help of the nade, sure. Swinging out into Lakia, but not able to convert. He's now left in a 1v3. He's cutting his losses. He's tucking tail. He's getting out of there.
Yeah, he's got to save. What proactivity from Sentinels in that moment. Tens holding on to that paranoia, shooting it through water. Zekin getting aggressive in that moment. And amongst all the chaos, when the retake is coming through, when the flood is actually happening, Sentinels are peaking together. They're not sitting back waiting for the fight to come to them. They're picking really good opportunities to fight together. And the trades are going their way. Full confidence right now for Sen. There was a change of pace at the start of the round.
It was. I think on both sides. I mean, yeah, a little bit more aggressive towards A. You mentioned that, but I think, again, Texture taking that aggressive line towards C with the op.
Thank you for trading me. I love you so much.
That's just a different look, right? We haven't seen that out from them.
A little bit of frustration from the side of Gen G.
Again, the op in the hands of Texture. 3 ults to play around, light armor for everyone. And I think I gotta go back to what you were thinking there and saying a couple of rounds ago. What is that smoke?
Very interesting. Maybe to hide from an aggressive haunt if there was an A fight to be in the mix.
Yeah, possibly.
And it was a fake TP going into a B hit, so they're trying to condition very small micro things. You have to do that when you're at this high of a level of play.
Zekin was too far out, Tens was too, Munchkin again, delivering. These are the big moments where Gen G has their way with the opposition. They're yet to win a gun round, but it seems like they're going to here. Forget the Thrifties.
Oh my gosh, he went for more.
Just John QT and Saucy left. I don't know that they really have anywhere to go.
What a shot from Munchkin, that was disgusting. He's looking for more.
And remember, Munchkin was the hero in a couple of rounds ago, the first Thrifty round that they won. Delivering again.
Saucy might just opt to save. I mean, he's got $350 in the bank. Spike is definitely going to have members on it. Texture with that operator being one of them.
Yeah, I do want to go back to the value that Munchkin has been able to provide for Gen G all year. Right? I know I mentioned it a couple of rounds ago, but you think about these map-changing moments, these series-defining instances. It's often multi-kill rounds, and it's often these like these.
Yeah, from the top. No one looking at him. He puts his Viper walls up at the most opportune times. And then he hits shots like that. That's crazy. To be IGLing, to be the forefront of your squad at the same time, that is so hard to do. But he's one of those IGLs who, like you said, he's been doing it all year long. Such a big part of Gen G's success this year. Such a big part of their consistency this year. Getting second, the first international, and then winning a championship, the second one in Shanghai.
A level of consistency that hasn't been rivaled really in the history of Valorant, but has the potential to get pushed here. Texture once again with the op. Looking for any skin, any blood, and nothing found. Oh my goodness. Better late than never, I guess. He's gonna get a third! Teeing off on Sentinels. What a round from Texture, the 4K for Gen G.
That was unbelievable. He's so quick with it. And now he's the one at the top. That last kill, what was that? Was he trying to flick Zekin there? I mean, he ended up killing John, I believe.
The collat, you know, whatever. You get lucky,
goodness.
but those last two.
Oh my gosh. And that's scary right now if you're Sen. 4 rounds on the defensive side for Gen G. Texture is here and ready to play, still sitting on that showstopper. Wow.
And now Meteor's joining in on the fun. This is the Gen G that's terrifying. This is the Gen G that wins championships.
Bomb grenade out.
And I said it, Doug. Gen G are a team that tends to start off a little bit slow, but when they get warmed up, they're unbelievable.
One enemy remaining.
And yes, this is an eco round, but you know, we talk so much about confidence, we talk so much about momentum and how valuable that is in a game like this. We've already seen 2 cataclysmic shifts as far as how momentum has gone.
Yeah, all of a sudden you have Meteor in the mix of things. We've seen Meteor on this map play Killjoy and just decimate teams by himself. And a hard read here, perfect spray control. Getting the third on top of it. What a nice flick.
Following the tracers all the way back.
Nasty
Just
stuff.
perfect. I guess that's why you play the game.
Unbelievable stuff from both sides right now. Sentinels were up 5-1, Doug. Gen G, they brought it all the way back.
Again, this fight for a main continues to go the way of Gen G. There's just not a lot that Sentinels can do to fight back.
I mean, that's one way to do it. Latvia gets taken out, but the showstopper,
It was short! Nipping at his heels, but not enough to get the kill.
oh my gosh.
John QT continues to dance with death, just looking for any sort of moment of respite to reload. Now back to full strength, continues to hit the spam, no targets found.
Sentinels don't want to let Gen G come back into this round with a free pick. That's why they're grouping up, they're death balling right now.
And remember, Karen has had this aggressive angle. Many of the defensive rounds that they've played, are they expecting it here?
Even if they are, I mean, it's so tough. He's ahead of this
He's
sniper
so
wall.
far
Oh
ahead,
my
you're right.
gosh. What was that peek from second, though? Instas, and they're just going to run through the door like they have been this entire time.
Perpendicular walls keeping these two teams apart as one of them goes down. Munchkin gets ahead of it. Second on the jump spot, they understand the threat that's on the other side, and now they decide to wait it out. They're beckoning the fight to come to them. Either you wait out the lockdown, or you fight us.
It got
It's
spammed.
destroyed, and now Texture not able to hold the line, not able to keep up the resistance. The pit invested, Munchkin trying to trace over. Snaps back onto Munchkin, or onto Sasi, excuse me, but Meteor's left alone. Sentinels get to 7.
And they needed that one, but is 7 enough, Doug, on a map like Lotus that is attack-sided?
I'm tempted to say when it comes to a matchup between these two teams, conventional wisdom goes out the window, man.
You might be right.
Like,
It oftentimes comes down to those micro adjustments, pistol rounds even. Clutch plays.
see that peek again from Zekin. All
Through
it
the
took,
one-way. Oh my gosh.
tiniest of glimpses.
Nice
all
bullet!
it
Oh,
took.
John, wait, look!
Who knows?
I don't know what they were looking
It was
at, but
probably flashing the bundle or something. I don't know. 7-5, the way of Sentinels. We've got an inner territory that they're playing in front of. When they're often used to looking out to the crowd and seeing a sea of red,
yeah.
it's all black and gold now.
And it's been just blow for blow this entire way through. Everybody on both sides performing at the same amount. You see Texture and Zekin going head-to-head, same amount of kills. John and Munchkin, same amount of kills. It's poetic. Roll for roll. It's so equal.
Genji on the pistol, they're already farming the orbs into Laki's hands. Perhaps indicative of what's in store. Oh, a little bit of spam, Texture plucked. You know, you keep wondering, and you know, maybe this is kind of the feeling for most fans that are watching, is that I think there are a lot of questions around if and when Sentinels will crumble. When will they kind of fold under the pressure? Will that be the case? Doesn't seem like they're slowing down anytime soon. I will say they are taking a big step back on C this round. Genji have gotten out onto the site, but Sentinels have the numbers advantage. No paranoia to speak of, no smokes, nothing like that, but Tens has a Sheriff and light armor.
Oh! Zekin also has a sheriff to his name. Oh, but he's gonna get taken out right here. The proactivity in the post plant, Munchkin getting 2.
Not able to find safe passage, not able to get across. I
One
cleared out
enemy
now without
remaining.
getting a tag. Tens getting the best of Karan, and now Munchkin left alone, a 1v2. Difficult to win, but possible. Just not the case this time. Again, pistols were elusive to them. In their first matchup, that's now 2 for 2.
That was close as well. Munchkin, he did his damn best right there. He had to get an ace to win that pistol round, and I mean, he might as well could have. But the Sheriffs are too strong. You could wall bang with them. 2 body shots is all you need. That's why Zekin gets that free kill in the beginning. But look at the shots. Look at the form that Munchkin is in right now. He wants it bad. In that interview that Sue had with Munchkin and Zelsis, Zelsis said, no, these guys are nervous. Munchkin does not look nervous at all. He was shaking his head the entire way through. Yeah, these pistol rounds haven't been going their way, but all it takes is one Thrifty to get them back on the map. And that's why you see this Vandal. Yep, that's why you see the Vandal heavy armor buy from the side of Texture.
Such an abnormal purchase.
You also have a Marshall. field for Meteor. It's a 5-man A.
On the attack side of Lotus, no less.
Yeah. Sentinels are aware now that the Vandal is in full effect. That room of being shot from texture. So that's why they're playing so cautious. They don't have the gun advantage when you have a Spectre and a Bulldog. Wow, tether nade.
Achilles was talking about that on the desk and how it seemed like that needed to be a big part of their success on Lotus, and it hasn't really been much to speak of, to be honest.
And do you still opt to clear out that very, very close corner on Zekken after you use that? I guess somebody could have sneaked in.
This cross is crazy, but Saucy was the backup. He was the reinforcement, so Paranoia is out. It's going to tag up Zekken as well. It's just buying time. Wow! With the nade out, still manages to get one. But Karen on the equalizer. Celsius now aggressive with the Spectre upgraded in the hands of Munchkin. Can he hold the line? Finding all three!
Strike down A.
Meteor's Marshall finally besting him.
30 seconds
But
left.
he's now left in a 1v2, upgrading to a Vandal. No armor. Challenged in the smoke. Challenged in the map. Sentinels get to 9.
It was a valiant effort from Gen G into that force buy, and it was looking promising. But Celsius, he stepped up huge in that moment. That little off angle here in the spray down, he knew he had to do this. If you give them the sight, if they are able to upgrade, all of a sudden your chances of winning are drastically lowered.
Hey, look
they'd
up.
already
They ain't
lost the
laughing
weapon.
now, buddy.
What a clutch play. And he stands up on top of it, puffing his chest out.
It's a good sign for Sen City. Paranoia out, the spit goes through. Zekken has to take a step back. But with Zealous intense, fighting over his shoulder, it's all safe.
One enemy remaining.
Annihilated from the very beginning of the round. Bodies littering A main. And it's another song of success for Sen City.
It was so hard to make what was going to happen in that moment. Just util for util, shot for shot. It was chaos, pandemonium. But Celsius, he got a kill with the Outlaw somehow. And it was just the firing squad set up ready here.
And honestly, this was where Gen G did have success.
Bro, I missed
on the
my nade and we
previous-
still won.
That was where Gen G had success in the first half. They were the ones who dug their heels in. They drew the line in the sand A main. And now Sentinels are giving them a bit of their own medicine.
Alarm bot down.
Telsa still with that Outlaw that you mentioned, has his ult to play around.
And just across the board, just very default stuff right now from Sentinels. Understanding they have the gun advantage. They don't want to give any picks. It's reminiscent of how they were approaching their attack sides. Playing very, very standard and safe.
Yeah, just tempered, I guess, a metered approach, if you will.
And maybe that's what the game plan was going into this matchup.
Sure.
Not giving that much away to Gen G, not giving these 1v1 exchanges, not giving the contact approaches, fighting as a unit, using utility. Maybe that's the key. Maybe that was the game plan, the adaptation this time around.
It's a cheeky angle there. Zelsis is holding. If he does get threatened, he should be able to get away, unless he's completely overwhelmed.
This is going to be an A reclear fight, though. That's why you see Tens out with that paranoia.
Yeah, I think it's just noise that Munchkin is making. And it's just enough of noise. It's just enough of a
30
distraction.
seconds left.
Very nicely done by Gen G, but Zelsis still holding the line on the other side. That's now 2 bodies found. The swing of the classic will not betray him.
Spike down.
Back-to-back
C.
3Ks for the Vibe Merchant himself.
He played that to near perfection.
I mean, he really did.
And now Tether nade. I mean, yeah, the spike gets planted. Oh, it doesn't even get planted. Oh.
I mean, Tens was still really far away, and time was really short, but that was almost almost a Munchkin clip.
And remember, last time these two teams played on Lotus, it was a mirror matchup. It was Madrid. It was 13-7 for Sentinels. Gen G ended up banning that in the finals. Keeping it in this time around, thinking that maybe Sentinels are weaker than what they were, a shell of what they once were. But Sen, if they get confident, they can beat anybody in the world. That's why they're champions of their own right.
Some safe pathing out from Texture at the beginning, but Karn was the one who walks away worse for wear. The door's tapped, the Honko's up, no target found, Saucy's dead.
Oh.
Tens,
He's playing this crazy.
he slipped the net.
Oh my gosh.
The Fox is in the den, and Meteor is dead. They've gotten the spike down, but they've got to realize there's a threat behind him, and it's a considerable one. The Paranoia is going to attack both. Karen's now dead. 2 members trapped in tree. Texture's the only one who's still playing backside. Nice shots out for Munchkin. Equalizing things at numbers. Elsis with the lockdown. Gonna try to flush him out as Texture's dead. Where do they have to go off this? They have to respect this. They have to give up the space. Nobody on the spike yet. Oh, he's got the line. He can hold him back from there. Zekin's the first to fall. Munchkin dealing with the aggression. Celsius will have to clutch this out on his own. A 1v2, Locky and Munchkin both still have ults to play around. And time's got to be so short.
Right now. One enemy remaining.
There's none left. Whew.
It wasn't looking too good for Gen G in that moment, but they brought it back. Munchkin, he has no fear in these moments. He came here ready to play. He's the playmaker of their team right now. Yeah, Texture had that beautiful entry, but the impact that Munchkin is getting with some of these frags and trades, it's been crazy. And Lakia, who's been quiet, he stepped up big in his own right here. Picking the perfect timing to get Zek in there.
Well, it's all off of, yeah, it was all off of Munchkin's position and his timing that you mentioned just a couple of moments ago. He had that line from Broken Door. He was able to drop the spit. And again, the double swing out from them was perfect. So Gen G, stay alive, get to 6. An op in the hands of Zekin, and an aggressive line taken with Zelsis close by.
And Gen G now have 4 ultimates of their own to work with. Meteor, he's creeping up slowly, 3 orbs until he gets his.
I think the question on my mind here is how far up do the rest of Sentinels go here? How far do they dare to challenge? How much space do they venture towards?
It's all a bait setup on C, but that deep alarm bot, that should be heard from Zelsis, I believe. But they're not reading into it. Last time around we saw Sentinels use that same alarm bot, they ended B.
They're committing to this.
Showstopper committed.
The B site is empty, but they've popped the 2 ults and the Paranoia out.
Oh. Zekin just stole that one away, opening the door himself.
The spike does go down, though. No ults on the side of Sentinels.
And that does Meteor fallen, so that gives Zelsis this timing.
The smoke keeping them apart. 2 targets found, only 1 claimed. Munchkin, who was so far up at the very beginning, still playing out towards stairs. Tens besting him. Numbers the way of the defense. And Ob still in the hands of Zekin. A difficult weapon to pull this off with.
Yeah, he's got to be the one that gets on the spike, allow his teammates with the rifles.
I don't know if he has
to
the tools
stick
for this.
He's got to hit the shot here.
Aaron's the first to fall. Texture's by himself. Zekin hits the shot. The defuse comes through. Sentinels get to map point.
We said it against FPX. Zekin looked amazing with that operator. And he's continuing that onward here. He's sitting at 20 kills. He opens the door, takes his own peek here, and it's against Meteor. Of all players.
And you're right, you mentioned it. That's what allowed the timing for Zelsis to crunch up mid.
Yeah, Zelsis was waiting on that alarm bot the entire way through, hoping that somebody would pick off Meteor, allow him to get that timing, and he Zekin did just that.
Zach!
Yeah, you know what he said.
I don't know if any of you are lip readers out there, but I mean, we're not done.
Not by any means.
But so far, it seems like Sentinels are managing to make good on the plan that they set out to accomplish. Still plenty to be found and figured out here, though. Gen G with 2 ults.
Oh, so much info gathered from that fade.
Beautiful eye out from Saucy. You're getting a little bit proactive here. The Prowler doesn't tag, Zekin doesn't either.
Yeah, and Zekin's going to have to move now. Get off of that B site. We saw them do this last time around against FPX. He takes a pick front B, goes towards stairs. He has the alarm bot there for protection.
And remember, Munchkin was right up on this in the previous round. The turret, the first thing that's cleared, you still have 2 mollies.
Such cool protocols right now from Sentinels. So many different layers to this approach.
Yeah, but I really like this from Gen G, though. I mean, they're methodically removing all of the traps and all of the little passive information gathering tools that Sentinels have.
Very high level stuff right now. That's a free B site because of all that.
And yeah, it costs them a Paranoia, and yeah, it costs them a little bit of time, but they gladly give that up in exchange for the site.
Viper's Pit invested as well.
With a molly on it.
Yeah, exactly. Texture's going to play ahead of it. It's looking pretty good right now for Gen G. Sentinels. What kind of retake do they have cooked up?
Careful here on the crunch. Tens has a paranoia. Karen's going to be the first to fall. The first smoke comes through, the tap of the door, and there's the flash. Is there anything behind it? Texture's the only one who I believe didn't get tagged, and he's still up on the pit, like you mentioned. Concealed in the green goo. The spam comes through, Meteor's dead. How much more can he find? Oh, no, disaster again for Sentinels as Texture obliterates them. 4 found as Gen G get to 7.
What in the hell was that from Texture? He was sitting in that smoke, fearful of his life. He didn't move an inch. He was stone cold. Everybody whizzing past him. Yeah, he didn't move the whole time. He was crouched here. The entire retake. And that last flick on his second, disgusting.
One enemy remaining.
Unbelievable play.
Crazy.
Yeah. The problem is for Gen G, they're going to have to do it again. The deficit that they're facing is so great. But Valorant can be a silly game at times.
The calling of Gen G has been really, really good so far on this attacking side.
Oh, they're investing heavy into this without real weaponry. Sheriffs and a judge, but they dropped the lockdown, or excuse me, the nightfall. Karen up close. The paranoia's out. Karen's dead. So is Lakia. Texture and Munchkin, the only two that are up. The pit's been planted, but the guns are not great on the other side. Texture's gonna have to clutch again, and he does! 8 for Gen G as they stay alive.
It's ridiculous. And a huge investment from Sentinels as well. Saucy using his ultimate. Oh my goodness. Another showstopper online. He just had that 2 rounds ago.
와.
The momentum is in full effect right now for Gen G. They're within 4 rounds of tying this up.
Last round is often the hardest. And when you're playing against a team of Gen G's caliber, it makes sense.
A lot of Odin spam being done in tree. But Texture, oh my gosh, he's not slowing down.
With ult popped, the tether keeps him back. Zekin's got one of his own.
What?
But he's gonna have to use it in the next round if we get that far.
Doug,
I think
Sentinels are crumbling.
I think they have to save here.
You have to.
Yeah.
But even the way these fights are going, it's so one-sided in the way of Gen G. They're decimating Sentinels in these last couple of rounds.
I'll find you.
Texture just decided to just wake up and go absolutely nuclear.
Gen G with full momentum here. I was a little hesitant to say it in the previous round because, again, there was a lot. They still were a lot of ults on the side of Sentinels. They're still at 12. There's still a pretty big gap here, but I think we're watching every single brick of that wall fall.
And Doug, this is why Gen G are a championship level team. You can never count them out. They never give up. They're gonna fight till the very end. They're gonna push you like you've never been pushed before. And the way they've won these last 3 rounds, Texture, his performance, it's been off the charts. This is such high-level play right now. Oh my goodness, 4 HP, and this kill as well. Unreal.
Reckless abandon on the swing, and it works. 23 and 14 for the Duelist, and it looks like we're due for a Clash A main again.
It's a force.
This could be a mess. I mean, almost everyone is here. Both Paranoias traded. Texture's down. Raid boss falls, and now the ult popped, but it looks like it's a little short. And so both teams refusing to relent on this area of the map, but Zekin looking to take us to Icebox. And barring a miracle for Meteor, that's exactly where we're headed. Gen G decided to take the fight where Sentinels have succeeded this entire half, and it was ill-advised.
Wow.
13-9 as Lotus goes the way of Sen City.
how Sen approached that entire map in the beginning, right? All the attack, it was, you know, the slow, methodical approach, not trying to give any kills, and the pistol rounds is what stuck out to me. In a 13-9 win, that's 4 rounds, that's 2 pistols that Sen won.
Yeah.
That's how evenly matched these teams are, that it comes down to who can hit these shots right here.
Nice spots very well. It might be a different story.
Wow.
Couple of sheriff shots already traded and kills found. Texture slips all the way back. But John QT is trying to do a bit of the same, not able to settle shots on the last kill as Genji manages to get the spike down, manages to get away. Now it's on Sentinels to attempt to retake this. Have a little bit of util to play around. They have the drone, they have the Viper Wall, and they have a weakened Texture, a weakened Munchkin. John QT is not much better off. Do they have any lineups? Do they have anything like that? No spits, nothing to speak of. John's not able to stick around. The one Malia that they had, Saucy with 2 big ones. Munchkin left alone. Had the knife, drops down, spots 1. Saucy on the defuse, gonna get it to half. Pauses for the fight as Saucy gets 3 and the defuse.
It was blow for blow the entire round, a 3v3, but Saucy just turned up.
And
those
honestly,
sheriff shots were so clean.
And honestly, that was the guy we didn't talk about a ton on Lotus. It was relatively quiet. I mean, yeah, we talked a lot about Texture and Munchkin and Zelsis, and for good reason. But this Carol was quiet.
Oh my gosh, him and Lakia both.
Yeah.
This roll for roll, these teams are so evenly matched, but it's another pistol the way of Sentinels.
Right here.
Texture, he will get a Stinger purchased for him from one of his teammates and a light armor invested. Might be the only saving grace.
There is threat here. It's not all safe. Munchkin will fall.
I cannot use that.
But again, it's Texture who can bite back.
Oh, good damage done on the 10s and Saucy. Texture might find the timing here, just like he did on Pistol, but Zekin, he's so ready for it.
And if he continues to be able to get the best of Texture throughout the entire map, that's a really good sign again, but if it's not Texture, it's Meteor. If it's not Meteor, it's Munchkin. It's gonna have to be Karon this time. Saucy looking for the target. Karon's gonna find him. Zelsis is on this late flank. And as time continues to tick, you've got to have a decent understanding where he might be coming from. The one problem, though, is Karon is 10 HP. He's so weak, Trey.
But all he needs is one headshot. One dink of the Sheriff at the right range. Cannot be too far.
He's gonna flip the map?
I mean, he's got so much time. Taking the scenic route.
There's not gonna be anything to give this away.
Oh, at the perfect range as well, yeah. He got right out of dodge, but now I think Zelsis,
30
he
seconds
smells
left.
something as amok.
Well, the problem is he could be freezing back A main right now. There's no way to know where he's headed.
Yeah, the spike will inevitably be planted.
And now, Zelsis will understand
Spike planted.
that Karon's out.
Swarm grenade
He's
out.
planted towards B, and now the gunfight begins. All of these minor pieces, all of these minor movements end here. Karon taking a step back. As Zelsis continues to push forward. He has a turret, he has an alarm bot. But no real way to utilize either of those.
He's got so much to clear as well.
And I think part of the problem is Karon has no idea where Zelsis is coming from either. So it's a guessing game for both, a 50-50. Karon's on the swing, can't hit the shot to 10 HP. Was what gives it away at the end.
Talk about a saving grace. Zelsis winning that 1v1. Meteor went nuclear on site, getting 3 kills with that Sheriff, making it extremely costly from the side of Sentinels. These shots were disgusting. Oh, what a flick. And how does he get this one? Okay.
Getting shot too. This was big from Zelsis.
Doesn't matter how we did it, it's that we did it, baby!
And the truth is, nobody remembers how things play out at the end, right? I mean, to a degree, he's absolutely right. It doesn't have to be pretty as long as it works.
Absolutely. Now Genji with clear gun advantage. Going into this round, it's another A default. A nice tag from Zekin. Gets a little too greedy, gets taken out by Lakia.
Yeah, swings into way too many. So that weapon will sit up in heaven.
Out of charges.
Genji with no real intentions of the rest of the map. They're all here towards A. Tench trying to get back and stay alive as Lakia is pushed so far already.
He's in a deep mix of things right now. Oh, Hunter's Fury invested.
But there are only sheriffs left. I don't know that it's going to be enough.
There's a lot of players low right now.
Yeah, they are. You're right.
And it's light armor on John and
Planted.
Saucy.
Can they settle this? Genji are playing so far up here. Munchkin has a knife too.
Dark tags. Oh, can't connect.
Texture, 49 HP. As the wall goes down, John QT segmented off. Texture again found success from this very position. Saucy on the reposition. They've gotten it down to 1. Texture's weak. Can he find it? Down to a 1v1. 7 bullets left. Saucy with the sheriff. He gets up top and Saucy drops him. The 3K is Sentinels win the bonus. What was that?
Another big round from him. I was wondering why he was investing the Hunter's Fury with such a disadvantage, but they're so confident. At a level like this, it's those crazy plays that make the difference. Unexpected things that happen. And phenomenal execution. What great
Bro,
awareness.
I missed the easy one and I hit the hardest one.
Saucy showing up in a way that we haven't seen in a really long time to deliver the MasterCard Thrifty to get Sentinels to 3. Genji on this weird hobbled buy now. They've got a Vandal, a Guardian, light armor. But Sentinels did just show us it doesn't really matter the size of the gun in the fight. Second so far up, but he's been caught, he's been had, he's been found. A life donated here.
Very risky play from Zekin there with no real support. Johnny didn't have an angle.
No, he had no way to help him.
Yeah. That's kind of uncharacteristic from Sentinels with the way they played the last map. They didn't really go for risks like that on the defensive side when they knew they had a clear advantage. So maybe a little bit too overconfident, a little too overeager, but a lot of info gathered from TenZ.
Yeah, that little pixel angle, calling the rotate back A. Celsius will have a lot on his hands. And that knife tagging means the utility's not going to be a part of the equation for a little bit. But in and out behind the wall, finding lethality and getting away.
Bomb grenade out.
Even numbers it is.
Yeah, they've still gotten out towards the site. Spike should be able to go down. I don't know if there's anything that Sentinels have to deny this. And now the lockdown early.
Yeah, this is going to create chaos for Zelsis, but he's still going for it.
Seems like he's just going to try to get a parting gift. Even if he gets detained, he's got help. The problem is, what he doesn't have a ton of his time. Meteor's down. Crispy shot out from TenZ, and now the rest of the defense starting to creep their way forward. The flash over the wall. Genji giving so much respect and giving so much space here. Again, all of the post-plant utility gone. 2 Vandals in the hands of Genji. Lakia 1 away from having his Thrash online. They're waiting for the swing, and there it is. Lakia down. Celsius will get it to half. Munchkin's by himself. Can he stop it? No. Sen City gets a 4.
These retakes from Sentinels are so good on A site so far. Complete control and patience in the approach. And then they're fighting together. I mean, it was a firing squad that everybody in that post plant had to deal with. Munchkin, had he taken a little bit more of a step out, that spray would have connected, but it just wasn't quite there. And Zelsis, what a big impact kill. A lone warrior on site, dipping out, making it even numbers after a great entry from Texture.
Thrash popped at the beginning of the round, clearing out a little bit of that B-long space. And then the knife, too, confirming where Zekin is. It's actually a really nice combo of utility.
Yeah, just no follow-up from the side of Gen G, so Zekin can hold his ground, keep all this info.
Yeah, but I don't think they wanted that. I think they wanted to find where Zekin was and then hit the other side of the map. The problem is that may be part of Sentinel's plan. They've got so much more utility out towards A, but it's all been cleared. It's all been recalled back.
Cool.
Texture finding high ground, but not finding a kill. And so they've gotten out onto A. They should be able to get the spike down. I thought it might go over to Karam because he was one away from the pit, but it's Munchkin who sinks the spike into the soil of the site. Knife out. Understanding there is a little bit of presence. Zelsis further up, but the rest of Sentinels not far off behind him. Again, these post plants that you mentioned, they've been so effective for Sentinels, but they're at a numbers disadvantage here. Can they convert again?
Oh my goodness.
That's such an aggressive lockdown. They've got to fight it. I don't think they can hold this back. John QT has already gotten it to half. Tens pushing forward. Just the threat. Just the distraction. Getting the kill too. Lockie and Karen left alone. And it's another round the way of Sentinels.
The retakes of Sentinels. Need I say more? It's too good. That's 5 diffuses. 5 spikes being planted for Gen G and no conversions. And they're trying to swing together, but that aggressive lockdown, it created too much chaos. It creates a disconnect.
Bro, my brain is completely off right now. Peak.
That's him with brain off. I mean, I guess
he doesn't really need it on when he's just playing aim labs.
Yeah.
Disconnect sometimes. You know, Meteor playing too far up. Ten's getting a free pick on him. Then the numbers advantage sways the way of Sentinels. Maybe they all need to fight back sight together as a unit and be cohesive in the post plant.
Again, heavy presence towards A. Karen has his ult. Munchkin 2 away from his.
Another A hit. They understand that they've been getting the spike planted, like I said.
Yeah.
But this time, a change of pace, though. It's a flood. Oh my gosh, they're not ready for it, Doug.
Spike
Ten's
down.
ahead of the play. He really might be brain off, but it seems to be working.
Shot dark.
I mean, they just continue to crumble. It's just Texture and Munchkin left. You were just talking about how this has been successful for them. If you think about the equation for Gen G, this part has been fine. They've been able to get into post-plant positions, but they lose the post-plants. This time, all of the resistance was met ahead of that.
It's not over yet, though. The wraparound from Texture, he's got 3 to the round.
He's going to have to win a B2, though. The ever-elusive Ace will have to deliver here if he wants to get Gen G on the board. He's getting it down to 1, and there it is! An Ace at the best possible time! Gen G are on the board.
And he's the guy you want stepping up in moments like this. The runner, the forefront. He's been getting entries all map long. But an ace from your star duelist, that can be what turns the tide. All of a sudden, the team has energy and life in them. But can you string more rounds together? Because you absolutely have to.
This time a bit of a different look for as much as they've been slamming their heads into the wall of A. A little bit more noise B here. And look at this lineup from Zekin. Far up, inserted, with op in hand.
An adaptation made. He was opping B the last 3 rounds. This time he wants in the mix. He wants in the action. He wants to take out Texture, who just got that ace. But he's going to have to deal with a lot here, and it looks like Gen G have a...
He's had a hot hand, but he's going to get flashed off of this first line, holding the next, almost landing the shot. Saucy understanding Texture so far up already. Zekin switches to the classic, tries to get away, and Texture hunts him down! 2 kills found! Tenzo trying to punch back, grabs the op. Can he wield it the same way?
This one's just too hard, Doug. Surely, with the Viper's Pit invested, one player tries to save the operator, but they have a lot of time to work with. Maybe Spam can get you a pick.
And they've got money.
Oh, a little bit of a chip damage right there.
Make a play.
Oh.
Traded right back, though. Tens falls off. Once again, hits the ground. Surely they just scoop that thing up and get away. Gen G will get their second. And again, it wasn't an ace, but it was Texture setting the pace.
He's so explosive in these moments.
And in a lot of ways, Dre, this feels really reminiscent to what we saw in Lotus. Was the score not 5-1 before things turned?
Yeah, after a timeout.
We're following the same forecast. This is where Gen G really put things together. And it seems like they're doing it again.
I mean, he dashed onto Zekin after Zekin whipped that off shot. He just ran him down. And then this time around, the Viper's Pit made it easy to isolate fights. Saw Zelsis dropping there. Texture has his 2nd round of jet knives.
11 and 5 from the star.
What a performance.
But the job's not finished.
Another AD fault.
But this time with a little bit of mid presence. We haven't seen them do this.
They will be matched by a turret.
Remember, they've been throwing the Smolly over the top two to clear it. I'm surprised they didn't try that here. It doesn't matter. Zelsis is dead.
Yeah, everyone was isolated. There's 3 members of Sentinels towards B. This is a perfect call from Gen G.
Yeah, you got to be careful here, though. These gunfights are hard to win. A little bit of damage was dealt, yes. But you still have some mid-presence, and Meteor beautifully escapes. He tries to get away. John QT has to clear this. And there was no safe space. That's a gorgeous call from Gen G.
That was unreal. What a beautiful, beautiful set play. The walk through mid.
They have to save again.
Yeah. Momentum now the way of Gen G. At what point do Sentinels call their own timeout?
It's got to be soon.
Oh my goodness.
Spike will go off. Gen G will get to 3. And again, I think it's a lot of the dynamic rounds that we've seen from the attack on the other side of Texture's ace have been splendid.
Yep. And now if you're Sentinels, you're worried about mid for the rest of the game. Is another split going to happen when they're doing their A default in the beginning? It opens up the map for the attacking side. They're able to be rent-free in the mind of Sentinels.
Yeah, and I realize now as Sentinels will call a timeout, give us a moment to discuss things. I was questioning in the moment.
Will be broken if Gen G can win this round. Finally put Sen on an eco, perhaps. Such an uphill battle that Gen G had to climb. And they're just one step away.
It seems like they've crested the mountain, or close to it. Almost at the summit. Look at the respect mid.
Yeah.
Look at Sasi's positioning. You're absolutely right, Dre.
Rent-free. Absolutely rent-free.
Zekin holding B-line with the op. Gen G a much slower approach to this round.
Yeah. And this is Munchkin's highlight of IGLing. His changes of pace. I mean, the pace in the first 5 rounds, it was A hit, A hit, A hit, A hit, A hit. Now a very, very slow approach. But there's 4 members of Sen here, and that Viper's Pit is invested as well. You kind of have to flip sight in this moment.
They're not committing to this.
Oh,
They are now.
Right here.
That's going to flush out the pit. Or at least attempt to. Meanwhile, that dart tagging a couple of people. A really good idea of what's waiting on the other side. 30 seconds left. The spike's still not down. They realize that, I mean, the vast majority of the defenses are here. If they decide that they're going to go up any bit further, it's going to be with a fight. Texture still alive. And still fragging. He's so far back. You're absolutely right. Lockie is tucked. Just waiting on the other side of the pit, waiting for his moment to strike.
What is that?
John finds him. That was the trap the entire time. They still have this pit up. They're still going to have to find a way around it. Zels is falling. Zekin 2. Can John 1v3? I don't know if there's enough time for this anyway. The tap, the spam, the 4th round for Gen G.
That is an unbelievable round to win for Gen G. Sentinels did so many things to make it hard on Gen G to win that round.
Borderline impossible.
They pre-fired the Viper's Pit. Everything was leading the way of Sentinels, delaying that spike being planted. But Lakia, he may be sitting at 1 kill, but sneaking through there, getting the spike planted with Wingman was everything. Taking all that space back sight. It gives his team the information that John's not playing in the Viper's Pit. No one was there. And it's such a risky play, but you gotta make those in times like this. And look, it's been A, so many rounds from Gen G. Now they throw a B hit in.
The dart from the defense already clearing out back A. They've got a lot of space too. The alarm bot's gonna give the position away. They've got to understand that the timing window to hit B is now. Texture's already dashed back sight. Karon not far off.
Finished.
What?
And it's traded 1 for 1. The fadeaway Molly finding value for Zelsis. But Lakia is still there.
Yeah, and so much space gathered as well on this A site.
I mean, they were just so decisive on the hit. But Texture down, Lakia swinging backside, only finding one. But a valuable one at that. It's now a 2v2. Tens and Sasi. Sasi, who was heroic in these first couple of rounds, but has since gone quiet. Looking to deliver again against Munchkin and Meteor.
He's in such a good spot right now. He might get double swung, though.
There's no way anybody clears this, not in a position like that. Beautiful positioning for Meteor. Sasi tapping, down to 1, 6 bullets left. Munchkin's Molly's gonna buy some time, and that might be all he needs. As the clock continues to tick away, the spike continues to go off. It will expire as Gen G has tied us up at 5. Unreal.
What was it that Zelsis said? Doesn't matter how you win, we won it. And their economy is flourishing, so they're chilling with that win. What a great timing to go B, though. Identifying that Sentinels have a bad economy. They finally broke it. They finally reached that summit, like you said. And they take fights, these long-range fights, towards B. They didn't expect the likes of the Vandal of Zekken in the beginning, and it being picked up from Tens as well. But it makes a lot of sense, this approach from Gen G.
Sentinels have bought into this again. Light armor and 5 rifles. The Thrash clears so much space.
They're able to pick that one up as well.
Yeah, but the defense is starting to attempt to bolster this site. No targets found. The spit out first. Texture being down is a big one. Sasi also striking. And they've thrown Gen G into disarray. The 3 remaining members have to take a step back towards long. Tens on the swing. And it's a threat. It's a tap. It's a bait. They've got to do something to try to dissuade and try to distract some of what Sentinels are trying to do here. But they've been pushed so far back. Gen G cannot find an opening. They cannot find a way in. Sentinels punch back.
The B retake is something we haven't seen yet from Sentinels in this half. And they look damn good at it, just like they did today.
I mean, we sung the praises of the retake so much. I'm not really surprised.
And if you look at the timeline, it's only been retake wins from Sentinels.
Yeah.
Spike diffuses across the board. And it's because they're not giving those long-range fights right away. They're waiting for teammates to group up.
Let's get 7, let's get 7.
Waiting for Gen G to fight. And Sentinels, they're wishing for a 7th round here. 2 big ultimates online for them. Lockdown, Hunter's Fury.
To close out the first half of Icebox, Texture popped his blades.
And right now, Gen G, all signs leading towards another B default. But Sen aren't buying it. They hear that jet smoke. Zekken, he's been kind of quiet since last map.
Yeah. They just set Munchkin up to go get the Orb B to have his ult online for this round.
Take flight.
Ults don't matter when you have the KO ultimate available to you.
Sentinels should know that. That might be a free kill. It's just so tough to land that on the Jets. But he finds Lakia. There's still a lot of threat from the attack here, though. They're not out of the woodworks yet. Meteor swinging into his death. I thought he had the timing on him, but he did not. Munchkin cannot do it on his own. Zekken asks for it. Sentinels get 7.
Not taking the bait, holding their ground at A that entire round, and taking the fight to Gen G this time. What a change of pace at the very last round of the half.
But again, the exact same story that we saw on Lotus. It was Sentinels until it was Gen G, and then it was 7-5 to take us to halftime. We'll see how Icebox closes out. Sentinels have the lead, but we know Gen G. They do not go down without a fight.
Doug, Gen G desperately need a pistol round win in this series. It might be just what takes them over the edge. And what an entry from Texture.
What a beautiful setup. The flash, the dart, everything was there, and Zelsis is dead.
He's going for more, Doug.
Sentinels deciding that they still want to try to hit this site with Zekken up close. Munchkin getting the best of 10s, but Texture only finding another. They're weak, though. 22 HP on Zekken. Meteor and Karan still remain for Gen G. There's a lot of time left in this round. They can slow things down. They can quietly instill all, well, that wasn't quiet, instill all the doubt into the minds of Gen G.
And look at how their approach is so similar from both sides. Just group up, play together, push together.
Not even really interested in the orb. They want to find the timing. They want to capitalize on it.
Revealing area.
Attempting to clear out any utility that might have been there, and there is none because Meteor went for Sheriff.
And
armor.
And that dart will be seen on the mini-map from the side of Gen G, so now they have a good idea. They're able to get a little bit more ahead. And remember, second sitting low.
Yeah, Sasi's got to be careful here. He's the healthy one. He finds his one. But can the rookie deliver for Gen G? Oh, he spotted the cape, betraying him twice.
I think he saw him. I think Sasi also saw him. Second turned instantly around.
Karen's having to accelerate here in a 1v2. Again, both targets weak. A stiff breeze will drop him, but that's now 4 pistols in a row. The way of Sentinels.
And last time around, Doug, Sasi was on the Gecko. This time, he's on Sova. He's known for it. And he looks so comfortable. He's 14-7, and his pistol round impact has been impeccable.
Spike down A.
That trade, by the way, of Zekin onto Texture was unbelievable. That was so much impact right there. Zekin was sitting at 1 shot. To connect a headshot in a moment like that when you're doing a 180. Insane.
To go from winning 1 pistol to winning all 4. I mean, what a drastic change. Zekin's gonna get gooped, Texture's gonna get aggressive, but it's a Guardian shoved down his throat. The gun difference here for Sentinel, so nice. There's really no way for Gen G to put up a resistance. They don't have the weaponry. They don't have the health. They don't have the personnel.
Spike planted.
Karen's gonna get his one, but again, Zekin closes the round as Sentinels get to 9.
Very decisive anti-eco from Sen. Just full sending it A. It was a great flash from Lakia. But Zekin dropping the smoke on himself. Everybody else, the supporting cast of Sentinels, just spamming away, understanding that there's only one way Zekin dies in that moment. And it's Texture walking into that smoke. It's a pretty healthy buy right now from Sen. They didn't drop any rifles or any Spectres that they bought into the round. And it will be the first full buy for Gen G.
Pacey take across the middle of the map. Every single member with crosshairs trained there too. Look at that, a 1-for-1. Zelsis takes a step back. You see the pings on the minimap. He's spotted here. This is a dangerous fight.
4 members taking a fight against Zelsis. That's full information relayed.
Texture's so weak. But he somehow stays alive and somehow cleans up 10s before he even hits the ground.
Standing ahead.
But of course, it's Sasi. Who else? He's been so steady. He's been so stalwart. He's been so successful here. And on the international stage again, trying to drag Sentinels across the finish line. Meteor's left in a 1v2, and Sasi gets another. Sentinels get to 10.
Sasi has been lights out this entire map. We keep praising his name.
17-7 is absurd.
And he almost has another Hunter's Fury. He did that all with a Bulldog. Texture, he just couldn't settle those shots onto Zelsis right away. It brought him low enough. But just cold.
Oh, the smirk and the wink. The guy knows what he's doing, man. 3 in a row for Sentinels. Another bonus converted. Gen G, remember, they found success in this exact same play, but this time cautious now. 56 HP. He's got a rifle. One of only 2 that are standing up is Lakia. Gets aggressive, finds his one. They're dealing a lot of damage here, but as soon as there's a window for Gen G, Sentinels slam it.
Planted.
How in the world does Meteor do this? Can he be a spark? Can he be magic? Both targets found, but neither of them claimed. Zekin gets 3 as Sentinels get to 11. And the light slowly starting to fade for Gen G.
And Doug, the pace that Sentinels have been putting on Gen G in this attack half, it's been so quick. It's like they implemented Gen G's own game plan of their attack onto them. But the difference is, Sentinels on their defense played a full retake style. Gen G on their defense are trying to fight Sentinels, and it's just not going their way. When Sen are on point, when they're dialed in, they have some of the most cracked aimers in the world.
Different look early on. Sentinels again with a lean towards A. Texture has an op this time, and that's exactly where they're headed. That tag is going to get 2. Munchkin gets his 1, though. Lakia trying to stay alive, has to take a step back as John looks to settle the shots, and it's Meteor who wins it out. Can Texture claw them back into this? It's Zelsis left alone, a 1v3. Lakia's weak, yes, but so is Zelsis. And he's outnumbered here. Meteor gets to 3 as Gen G gets 6.
It was a crazy ult from Saucy in the beginning of that round, getting a collat tag.
I thought he was going to get 2 there.
Yeah, right? But the movement, the finesse and backside, Texture finding a window of opportunity. Lakia seeing a barrel, a glimpse of something.
I didn't even think it was a barrel. It might have just been the effects of the gun.
Meteor going huge as well in screens.
And I think that's the question now, right? Is who's going to step up for Gen G? In that round, it was Meteor. Texture still has the op.
Deploying drone.
And a different look from Sentinels. It's been all A, all day. Drone will get a tag. Saucy is truly in a flow state right now. He pre-fired that. They didn't even see him.
There's a lot of the defense here, including Texture and his op.
Yeah, Texture wants blood. He's hunting for it, but it looks like Sen have something cooked up. A little pop flash play, perhaps.
Will he find a target? He's taken the line. Nothing found yet.
Look at this from Sen.
This freeze is crazy, but the problem is they're on the clock. You can't stay in this state forever.
Look at the mini-map. Just biding their time. It's a free B site right now.
Second with a massive shot. The op is down. Lakia and Munchkin with 2 ults. Rotating back B, and there it is, the first popped. Saucy managing to get the spike down, though, as Tens. Back sight, plucking one down, trying to turn the flash, succeeds, but dies. Now numbers still the way of Sentinels. With the spike down, John QT looks to get away. A couple of parting shots, his threats as Lakia falls. Munchkin on his own, a 1v3. He's got it down to 1. A 1v1, can Munchkin deliver? Perhaps the biggest 1v1 of his career. The tap, there, the swing, but Zelsis walks out on top. Sentinels get to series point. He wasn't kidding. Sentinels said they were out for blood. That's exactly where they're at now.
Just gotta let it sit right now. Texture, too many targets to look at. Getting double swung in that moment. What a freeze, though, from the side of Sen. It made 2 members that were supporting Texture in that moment rotate all the way back into A site. No info was gathered towards B. The spots that Sentinels were hiding at, the operator doesn't get value in that moment.
They could possibly want. Remember, on Lotus, they got to the 1 yard line, and then Gen G put together a ferocious comeback, but it wasn't enough. Can they do it again? And can they close out the map here?
Sentinels are wise to something.
Yeah, the Dizzy going up. They know.
And you can't recover that either, Doug.
Exactly, that's not a Dizzy. They're going to be able to scoop back up.
Sentinels understood that they're at match point right now. It's elimination for Gen G. Players get desperate at a time like this. They want to force things, make things happen. That's why you see a red wall across the board. Nobody has really pushed past the barrier.
That desperation can be a fine line, though.
I mean, look at the mini-map. From the start of the game, it was 3 players towards A, a shift towards mid now. There was a dagger used.
Texture's going to be called upon to deliver.
can't escape.
The hour has struck. Can he arrive? No! Saucy overwhelms him. With the rest of Sentinels behind him, they push forward, looking to take A. Can Karen hold the line? The flash in his face, he will crumble too. Now just one rifle up for Genji. Hopes and dreams of a year, potentially falling short right now. Yes, they raised the trophy in Shanghai. But it would have been so much sweeter to do so in front of a home crowd. But now, Lockie and Munchkin doing their best to keep this thing up, to keep it competitive. They're gonna have to navigate the pit. Every single member crumbling. Tonight, Seoul burns red.